Cruise news time. Well, Florida, they're not waiting around. They're going to take their case against the CDC all the way to the What's that? That's not a story anymore? Breaking cruise news, the appellate court in Atlanta has changed their mind. The CDC is on the ropes in Florida. Leaves 3 huge questions for the cruise industry. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with your latest cruise news updates. Well, let's first address the elephant in the room. I'm not in my studio at home. I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at a very nice Hampton Inn in Pompano Beach, waiting until 4 p.m. when I can go to the cruise port in Port Everglades and board the Celebrity Edge. That's right. I'm going to work from a cruise ship for the next week. This is the goal here at Lido, Loca, to often be working from a cruise ship. And so we're going to give that a whirl. Hopefully the internet works well so that we can keep up with all this cruise news. I was on a train yesterday from Tampa over here to Fort Lauderdale, and a lot of stuff happened. I couldn't talk about it. So hopefully that won't be the case this week on the cruise ship. So the big thing that happened while I was on the train yesterday that I really didn't get to talk about was that Florida had decided to appeal their case to the U.S. Supreme Court, to the highest court in the land. And so, yeah, let's just catch you up. Florida sued the CDC saying that their conditional cell order was an overreach of their power, and they were asking for the conditional cell order to go away. And so while that court case was going on, they filed a motion for injunction saying that while this court case is going on, we would like you to put an injunction against the conditional cell order so that it cannot be enforced in Florida. Judge Meriday in the federal court there in Tampa agreed with the state of Florida, and he issued an injunction against the conditional cell order. What that meant practically is that this conditional cell order would no longer be regulatory, but it would just be recommendations. It meant the CDC couldn't slap cruise lines down for not following the conditional cell order guidance in Florida. They could only say, hey, we strongly recommend that you do this guidance. So Florida won that case. They got the injunction against the conditional cell order, and then the CDC appealed. They took it to the 11th Circuit Court, the appellate court in Atlanta, and then the 3-panel judge for the appellate court last Saturday agreed with the CDC, and they overturned Judge Meriday's ruling there in Florida, saying that the conditional cell order still could be in effect. And so that brings us all the way up to yesterday, Friday. Florida says they're going to take it to the Supreme Court. And in an interesting development last night, that same panel of 3 judges looked at the case again and sided with Florida. And so as of last night, the injunction against the conditional cell order is valid and is going forward. What that means practically is that the cruise lines in Florida no longer have to follow the guidance of the conditional cell order. They just have to take it under recommendation, but there will be no penalty or any kind of smackdown if they do not follow that guidance. Now, the court case is not over. The CDC could appeal also up to the Supreme Court, and then there is the overall court case that could go forward. But yeah, this is a big win for the state of Florida, and it leaves us with 3 really big questions for the cruise lines. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. This is the scenario I wanted to be in. I wanted to see what happened when the cruise lines were able to self-regulate. Which health protocols would they keep? Which health protocols would they not keep? 3 big questions. Before we get there, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. Thank you in advance. The first big question: how will the cruise lines handle their health protocols in the absence of CDC conditional cell order? Will there be masking on cruise ships? Will there be a requirement for vaccination? Will there be social distancing? Right now, the cruise lines have been able to say, look, we're doing all these things and we're doing it under the guidance of the CDC. And so, there's kind of been a little bit of a vibe like they're making us do it, right? You've seen some of these press releases that say, look, we really don't want to do this. We know that it impacts people, but the CDC, well, now that's not, that you can't say that anymore. So the question is, will the cruise lines do this? Will they change up how they're doing their health protocols? The second question for me is, will this speed up or slow down the cruise restart without any of these restrictions in place? There's no requirement for test sailings. There's no really restrictions at all. The cruise lines, if they could flip a switch and bring all of their ships that sail out of Florida back online, there's really nothing hindering them doing that from a regulatory from a CDC perspective. So now are they at the place where they can quickly do that? Another big story that I haven't talked about, Carnival Cruise Line said that they're going to be bringing all of their ships back on by the end of the year, like at all of the different ports. Will this expedite that process? So I'm interested to see if this increases the amount of ships that are going out of Florida. And the third big question that comes to mind is, how will this ruling affect other states? Other places where the conditional sell order is putting restrictions on cruising, will we see that go away? We got cruising going on in a lot of places: Florida, Alaska, Texas, West Coast, East Coast. How will this ruling affect cruising out of those places? Is this the beginning of the end for the oversight of the conditional sell order in cruising? It's going to be super interesting to see. I also have to bring up the other lawsuit that's going on in Florida. Very shortly, at the beginning of August, we should see some sort of ruling on NCL sues Florida for the ability to ask people's vaccine status. Look, I'm going to a cruise port in Florida today. I got to take my vaccine card and I have to show it to them at the cruise port. So cruise lines have figured out a way to get this vaccine thing going on. Norwegian doesn't want to play that game. I don't know if it's just a fight between Del Rio and DeSantis, but that's going to play out also. But those are just some questions that are rattling around in my head. What do you think about this ruling? What are some questions that are banging around in your head? Leave a comment below. Thanks so much for watching the show today. Please hit the like button or it's going to rain on your next embarkation day. I'm hoping it doesn't rain here today. This is Tony with Lido, Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.